Welcome to another edition of the Nerds Delight podcast. We're your host today, JayRow.
And Crump Casso.
Welcome. We got a special guest in the building today.
Hey guys, I'm Dorris.
Welcome, Dorris. We're happy to have you.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So today, we're going to talk about Cobra Kai Season 5.
Season 5.
So better late than never, but hey, I always say the good things always wait to the last. Well, I ain't gonna say the last minute, but you always
best for last.
The best for last. That's what it is. Thank you, sir. So Crump, like we're gonna take. I'm gonna let you. No, let's better yet. Let's just let our new guest. Let's see what she says. So Doris, what do you think about this current season?
I didn't like the way it ended. Like they introduced Kim and they made her to be like this big dog in the martial arts world.
Who are you referring to?
The Asian lady that got off of the plane and was like that chick, you know?
Sensei, the new sensei,
Sensei Kim. So like they introduced her as like the chick, and then like I remember that first fight scene with the blonde guy that's from her dojo, and how like I was like, yo, it took two of them to take that man down, you know? And then at the end, they had her fighting the two little girls, and I'm like, I mean, Chosen, and this guy, and Chosen even asked the dude, like, how long you been studying under her? All my life. And I'm like, oh, so she about to be legit. I can wait to see her fight. And then fighting these little girls, and I'm like, really, guys? Really? Chosen? The student and the master is fighting these little girls? Like,
now,
right then and there, I was like, I'm done.
Now, granted, Sam has a bigger learning curve than the other little girls, because Sam is, I think, out of all the kids, she's the most trained out of all of them because she's been doing it for a longer time.
They had Sam fighting her, Tori fighting her, and then the new girl came along and was like, I'm gonna help you. Like they were tag teaming her, and I'm just like,
well, I think it's believable if Sam can keep up with her though.
I still fight. I
didn't say beat. I didn't say beat. Yeah. I didn't say beat her. I said keep up with her because she's more trained than the other kids.
That's what I'm saying though. But she's going against the sensei of blonde haired dude that Johnny and Chosen was ganging up on. You know, like do you remember that? Like it was like mid-season when they first introduced him, but I was like, yo, they're like legit. And so for me to see the teacher of the blonde hair dude fighting little girls, I'm like, I don't care how I don't know good Sam is. That was no match, because then now you're saying that Sam could go up against Chosen. We all know that's not true.
No,
exactly.
No.
So yeah, that was my like the only thing that I really wish they would have done better. And that's the part that I was like, man, I was looking forward this whole season, like the whole second half of the season, to see her fight. And then when I saw her fight, I'm like, against Sam and Tori and the girl.
Devin. Yeah, her name's Devin.
Devin.
What about you, Crump?
I agree with that. I didn't even think about it till just now, but yeah, I actually agree with that. I agree with that. I have my other issues with the season, but I don't want to talk about it right now because I got a lot to say, and I don't want to go down that segment yet. So, but overall, I like this season though. I thought it was a good season. Overall, like I said, I have my own personal issues with it. To Doris' point, that actually is another very good valid point I didn't think about. But yeah, overall I liked it though. And I like how it started too with them going to like to Mexico, whatever. I'm glad they didn't like harp on that too much.
Thank God.
Yeah, but I did like that they kind of took that route, but I'm glad they brought it back though. Yeah. What about you, Drew?
I love the season.
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was the best season. I thought it was the best season. I like the, like you said, I'm glad they didn't stay in Mexico too long. I like the fact that Miguel and Robbie were able to squash their beef, and they produced a good fight behind it too. Like it was like similar to like those, you know how all that chaos they do in like the first 2 seasons when like all the kids are going amok and they fighting all over the place.
Yeah.
The way they were fighting in that apartment complex is pretty cool because they took it off screen and they came back on screen. So I thought that was pretty cool. I love Chosen was like the MVP of the season though.
I can say that. I can see it. I can see that.
Yeah, Chosen he was just that guy. I loved every scene Chosen was in. I feel like he stole every scene.
Yeah.
It was like low-key weird for me to like see him at first because I know him from Johnny Tsunami.
Oh yeah, Pete. Yeah, Pete.
Yeah, so like at first when I saw him, I was like, is that Johnny's dad? And so like I had to adjust my mind because like he was known from Karate Kid too, but like I was like, is that Mr. Tsunami?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, whatever the last name was, like I was just like, yeah, but he was my favorite too, and I liked everything about him. I liked how when Danny was becoming that, like going down the rabbit hole and low-key alcoholic, low-key crazy, like he was the one bringing him back and saying, stay focused, you got this. Like I feel like Chosen was much needed in this season with the way they did it. Like he was the support system that I wasn't expecting. That was just beautiful.
Yeah, I agree.
And we gotta give a shout out to Johnny too, because Johnny showed so much growth this season too.
Yeah, he did a lot. Yeah, he did.
At one point, he was more mature than Danny, and I was like,
he's like, "What are you doing, Louisa? What are you doing?"
Yeah, he was.
No, I agree with you 1000%, Doris. I thought like Chosen was what we didn't ask for, but what we needed. Like it was just like he was a scene stiller. Like it was hard. I ain't gonna lie. Like when he first got introduced back into the show, it's hard to compartmentalize Johnny Tsunami's dad, Pete, to Chosen. It was just so weird to see him like that. But it's dope though because it shows like the history of the Karate Kid. And I love like the fact that if you didn't, you have to have watched the movies to understand what's going on up to this point.
Okay, so I have a question for both of y'all. I don't know which one of y'all can answer this, but remember that scene when Amanda left Danny and she went back home and then she hooked up with her cousin and they had that whole bar fight or whatever?
Yeah.
And they had a flashback of the cousin being one of the girls like in one of the original Karate Kid movies.
Oh yeah.
Was she? Because like I felt like I should have known her, but I could not remember who she was in the original pictures.
She was in part 3. She was the one that Danny became friends with.
Okay, so they weren't dating or anything like that. Because I was like,
it kind of. I think he was trying to, but it didn't. It was just kind of mutual kind of thing. I think it was just more friends than anything.
Okay.
Oh, okay. See, I actually didn't remember that either. Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, he was getting terrorized by those Silver and Dale. Because that's when Silver was introduced in part 3.
Okay.
So yeah, it was because I think part 1 was just the Kreese thing, and then part 2 was Chosen, and then part 3 was Silver.
So that's really cool then too, though, because then it's like this season was about Silver, and then they brought back a girl from that Silver movie. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And also, let me ask y'all a question. This is hypothetical. Do y'all think if Chosen and Silver fought like kind of like no interferences or anything like that, who would win that fight? Do you think Chosen would win, or do you think Silver would still win?
I think Silver would still win.
What?
I think he would.
Wow, you think so? Oh man, I Chosen hands down for me.
Really?
Yeah. Chosen beat him. He already beat him.
I was gonna say like Silver won because I remember Chosen got slashed, but like but Chosen was winning. Like it was back and forth, but like what was the deciding factor in that fight that
I can't
gave
remember
Silver the upper hand?
I remember.
Because Silver won, but I felt like Chosen was handling him.
Well, he was like Johnny was getting distracted. Johnny was getting beat up, and then he looked that way, and then Silver came out of nowhere and slashed him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what happened. But in Johnny, like I thought Johnny was gonna get beat, but he showed like Johnny's did like a Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan thing and just went crazy. Cause I was like, Johnny's over there beating all these senseis like it's nothing. I was like, okay, Johnny, I see you.
And what happened to Barnes, the furniture dude? Like,
yo,
he got knocked out quick.
To get beat up and get ganked. Like, what happened to the dude? I missed it. Went over my head. Like, what happened to
He
him?
did the same thing, same here. I was like he just disappeared. Then he showed back up at the end. I was like, what happened?
Oh,
Yeah, he got knocked out.
I would have been fighting him. I would have been like, yo, you left me hanging.
Well, he ain't leaving hanging. Like he shouldn't have rushed in.
Man,
He rushed in and got knocked out.
Man, I was like, yo, like, where he at? And then everybody was like circling Johnny, and I'm just like, any moment now, he's gonna come. Like, where is he?
Yeah.
And I was like, where is he? Yeah.
Did y'all like? So let me ask, so what did you think of y'all know who Tori is, right?
Yeah.
So what did you think of her growth this season? Did you think like it was natural? Do you think it was forced?
No, I actually liked it. It didn't feel forced to me. I actually liked it, her growth, and I like how her character kind of changed and kind of matured a little bit. I liked it. Yeah, I liked it. Yeah.
It was unexpected.
Yeah.
In a good way, though.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was wondering when she would like spill the beans about the referee being bought, and because like the whole season, I'm like, okay, like. When is she gonna tell them? When is she gonna tell them? And then when she finally did, it turned into a fight. But then like they ended up bonding over it too. And like she went to the girl's house, found out her mom was sick, was like, yeah, we can help. You know, like I thought it was beautiful. I'm curious, like they're squashing all the beefs. So like what are they gonna do next season? Like what's the beef gonna be?
That's a good question.
It's gonna be a global beef, probably. Because they're supposed to be doing a global tournament.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the Sekai Takai.
Yeah. It sounded like, like you remember Jordan Budokai? That's what it sounded like whenever
it does sound like that.
Budokai Tenkaichi.
So do you guys think they're gonna like combine dojos since Terry done gone to jail? Kreese done escaped from jail. Goodness knows what's gonna happen with that. Right. But like, do you think that like Tori and what's his name, Kenny, like do you think they're all gonna go to Miyagi-Do?
Tori probably, not Kenny. I don't think Kenny will. If it does, it's gonna happen late. Because I think Kenny's like I think what happened to him was really good because of the fact that he got lost. He got super lost in the sauce. When it came to Cobra Kai. But I mean, granted, he was getting bullied in the last season.
Right.
And like this was his way of like taking power and taking ownership of what was going on around him. I'll tell you this right quick. This a sidebar. When they jumped Danny's son and put him in the bathroom where the where all the water was, I was like, oh man, don't do it. And then they closed the door and they said Cobra Kai. So I was like, oh man, I was like, doo-doo, bro.
Right. It was bad.
I was like, man, that's bad, man. I was like, yo, to be like, I felt for the kid, man. I was like, that is so.
I didn't like. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to hell, but it's like I felt like they were trying to teach kids life lessons, and it's like you're the bully today and you're the bully tomorrow. And so like I know I was supposed to feel bad for him, but I'm like it's teaching like the watchers, like the viewers, like it sucks, but like he used to torture that little kid, and I mean, of course it was wrong, don't get me wrong, it was wrong, but I didn't feel like, oh no, poor Anthony. I'm like, I hope he makes it out. Like, I hope he brushes his teeth before he goes to class. Like, oh man, I hope
y'all should brush his teeth.
Yeah, like I hope he has to change the clothes in his locker. Like I felt like, but as far as like what they did with that, I love the fact that they flipped the switch. I love the fact that they took somebody that was high and brought them down. I hate that Kenny was so lost and Kenny was so hurt that he put somebody through that. Like I felt bad for Kenny because when I was watching that, I was like, oh man, a sweet little kid. Like he's turned into something that he used to hate. He turned it, but at the same time, I wasn't feeling bad for Anthony besides the fact that he had to go to class afterwards. Like that was the only part I felt bad about.
Yeah, I'm the same as that. I agree 100%. I'm glad I'm not the only person on this in this.
You're going to hell together then.
Yeah, I'm about to say. Well, I actually laughed. Like same thing with it. At the pool party or at the water park where they like put the. I laughed at that part too. Like again, I'm not saying what he did was right. That's not excusing it. I feel bad that Kenny just lost. I was like, and I think the Booster kids, he apologized like 2 or 3 times already. I'm like, okay, you probably should accept his apology, but at the same time, y'all created this monster. Like, you can't be mad.
Yeah.
You can't be mad about
It's like you got to deal with it now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I felt, I mean, again, like, I didn't feel bad for Anthony. Like, I felt like it shouldn't have been happening. But I felt bad for Kenny. Like, I felt like, man, like he's turned into this person that he hated. He turned into this person that used to give him anxiety, you know, like I felt bad for Kenny when I saw Kenny doing all of that stuff to Anthony. I didn't feel bad for Anthony. I'm like, oh man, that sucks.
Right.
Yeah. And look how far he came as a fighter too, though. Like, my Lord, I was so impressed with Kenny. Like, I was like, yo, Kenny is up there with, I don't think he's on Miguel and Sam's level in regards to fighting, but he Hulk, I mean, I think they're on the same level a little bit. I mean, maybe Hulk's a little better.
Forced.
You thought it was
like that was forced? Like, you know how we talked about like growth and if you think it was being forced, like I think like towards the end they mentioned how he'd only been there for less than a year. And I was like, whoa, when they said that, I was like, that is right. Like he is new. And they made him the best person in Cobra Kai, you know, like he went against he was the person they chose when they were trying to do the Maikai, what is it? The Sakai Tai. They chose him. And I'm like, that was kind of forced. The fact that they let this new person, this new kid who hadn't even been training for a year be the best. I mean, I love that he was, but that to me, I was kind of like pushing it.
Yeah.
What's my boy's name? Kyler, he always get beat up, so they won't gonna choose him.
Was that the Asian?
Yeah. Always getting beat up. Like talks the most and always gets beat up.
But then like that though, y'all, I like the fact that like that was the one thing that I can say I liked about Silver. When Silver took him in that offense and was like, did I say he was the leader? I said, Silver, you better sensei the heck out of that boy. That's right. You assumed it. Boy, you better buck up and lead. Like, that was a nice, I was like, okay, Silver, I might rock with you a little bit because that was beautiful.
Yeah.
I like it.
He was like, I mean, Silver did Kreese wrong and he cheated to win, but he didn't do bad by those kids though. Like, I mean, he didn't do bad by those kids.
He did not really. I actually like Silver. I actually really like his character. Like, I like him a lot.
He was a great villain. He was a great villain.
He was.
Like, you could tell, like, I mean, Kreese is always a good villain, but to see Silver, how he used a different way to be a villain.
Right. And
he could back it up too, like in regards to a fight.
Yeah.
He was intelligent. Like he was like, I remember the reason why Amanda left Daniel in the first place was because Silver gave his wife compliments, you know, and he did that whole exaggerated fall and I didn't even push you that hard. Stop playing.
I laughed at that scene too.
But I like Silver because it's like, yo, like you let him get in your head. Like you haven't grown up. Like you're still that little kid in Karate Kid 3. Like grow up. Like you're a grown man now. Like,
but that's some lasting damage though. That was some damage though, Doris. Psychologically, it was some damage that to this day he still never really got through it until that last fight between him and Silver. He was dealing with that for years because he turned him and Miyagi against each other. So he was on it because he was like he was his friend, and then he said Miyagi's not teaching you the way you should be taught, and then like he was trying to get him into that low key, trying to get him in that Cobra Kai mindset, and he hurt, remember he hurt his hand like in the in part 3, and then like Kreese came out of nowhere saying surprise, all of them they terrorized him, and Barnes was the guy who was terrorizing Danny on behest of Silver and what's Kreese. Yeah, so yeah, he was getting on all fronts. Like he was getting hit left, right, and back. So like, you know, Danny was. I mean, I can sympathize with what was Daniel going through because my Lord, man, he was. Woo, this isn't like Johnny terrorizing him. This is some other stuff.
Yeah, he did a lot of mental like stuff he had to go through, like when he was younger as a teen and all that. However, I'm gonna go on my rant really quick. I'm gonna try to make this short.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to make this short. What I didn't like the most about this season, and this really been going on since season 1, but they're really wrapped it up this season, is that the LaRusso family, I've never really liked Danny from the beginning. Like season 1. Season 1. But this season, they really ramped it up. Like the whole family, I think the wife, the mother is the only person who really didn't bother me. But Anthony, Kenny, Sam always had a problem with her. And then Danny's the worst. Like, I don't care what y'all say, I can't change my mind. The LaRusso family is legit like the villains in this story. Like they antagonized Cobra Kai the entire season. Cobra Kai. Go ahead, Dorris.
Yo, and when I remember when Johnny first came on, and Johnny just trying to live his life. Like I remember thinking that too. I was like, yo, Danny, back off. Like there were times when you're right. Like I remember thinking like, I'm kind of like Johnny more. Like
of course.
And like but what so something about this season that I did like, and maybe this would help you a little bit, is that like they showed how flawed Danny is though. Like
without question.
I remember they said he was like Silver can have it. Like Silver can have the whole valley. Like, and like they showed Danny being weak. They showed Danny being like all of that. Like Danny broke into Stingray's house. Like they showed Danny's flaws. Where if you didn't pick up that Danny wasn't an angel this season, it kind of showed you that Danny really wasn't as perfect as they tried to make him seem in the previous seasons. What do you think about that? Because I did.
Oh, I'll even add on to that, Dorris, because you know we watched the last season together. He is the most forceful. Like if it's not his way, it's the wrong way. And it's not, and that's like not it, because Johnny's like you said, he's living his best life.
Right.
He's doing his like he's teaching the kids his own way of how to be confident and how to be, you know, be above everybody else. And I'll never forget, you remember how you remember on the first season when they had the tournament, and you know, you can tell Johnny never forgot about that kick, the one that made him lose the tournament. And he told Miguel to do that kick on the kid, and Dr. Miguel kicked the kid, and Johnny and Miguel looked at Daniel and smirked. Yo, but no, on the serious note, but yeah, Daniel, I feel like Daniel was the villain on season 1 and on the last season. Because when you remember, he was trying to force all the kids that Johnny was teaching to go into Miyagi-Do, and I'm sitting there like, he's got eagle fame. Let him have his kids.
Right. Like, bro, they antagonized the entire season. Like episode, like it was bad. Like everything. Silver was trying to run legit, though. Wasn't breaking no laws. Wasn't doing nothing illegal.
Well, he did break the law. He did break the law.
What law? Because like you talking about the tournament, the referee, or what law did he break?
Well, he did, but also when he beat the snot out of Stingray.
Oh, I mean, okay.
But again, mind your business, right? That had nothing to do with Daniel.
It had nothing to do with him.
And when you think about it, it got Kreese out of the way, and Kreese and Silver was a better sensei than Kreese.
Without question.
Daniel, at the end of the day, like he just forced himself into all these situations where he could have just sat down and just like chill, live your life, let other people live theirs. Like
there's so many examples of that. That's like Burger King being like, look, Ronald McDonald's evil, yo. I don't like the way they flipping their burgers over there. Like the burger's still good. Leave them alone. Like what's the
like you cook your burgers. You cook, So I'm with you with that, and like it doesn't bother me to my soul, but yeah, I don't think that like Daniel is the lead character that that they want us to think. And I really did like this season how like he was an alcoholic for like for an episode or two. He he was spiraling. He broke and entered into Stingray's house. He got his butt beat.
Yeah.
He said he can have the whole valley, and basically said, I don't care about anything anymore, which that was shocking to me. I'm like, yo, you're supposed to be, so like
the hero.
I did
You're supposed to be the hero.
Yeah, so I did like how they humanized him and they made him imperfect this season because you're right. Like he gets on my nerves a lot.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the problems, if he would have just sat down and mind his own business, it wouldn't have even been that serious.
Like, it really wasn't. Like, even at the end, like they broke into Cobra Kai after hours to get secure. Like, what is it? Y'all are the bad guys.
yeah. And they knew that because what happened? The wife was like, I'm about to call the police, and he was like, go ahead, y'all breaking and entering into here. And she's like, oh.
Yeah, like it is so bad. Like even the charity where Silver bought like the bonsai bushes or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like, you better take care of it. Bro, he bought him fish. He can do whatever he wants to do. He can turn them into mulch. Like it is.
You donated it. Once you donate something, you have no
say.
Exactly.
Because goodness knows if my black thumb would have bought it, it would have been dead. Yeah.
It'd be different if it was like a family heirloom that's passed down for generations. It wasn't none of that. Like he had
to be different. It wouldn't be different because at the end of the day, you donated it. So if you're donating your family heirloom, I paid money for it. It's going to whatever charity.
Exactly.
I can do whatever I want. So it's no difference. Like
exactly.
Yeah.
But it made it worse that it wasn't a family heirloom. Like he had tons of them plants. He was getting to customers when he's selling cars. Like you don't care. Like come on, stop this. Like it was so bad. That's the only thing I didn't like about this season. Like they really wrapped it up. Like in this season of Danny and this whole family to me. Like everything. Sam. Like. Okay, let's talk about this real quick, and I'm gonna move on past. Okay, you were like the house party, and
yes. I was trying not to say that either. Go ahead, though.
But her showing up and then seeing Miguel kiss the other girl. First of all, you dumped him, but let's move on past that. Let's move on past that. Then Tori comes and she admits that they won like the wrong way or whatever, whatever, which isn't Tori's fault, whatever. But did you start a fight with her? Which again, not Tori's fault. She can't do the right thing. Let's move on past that. What I really have an issue with is that Sam goes, yeah, that broke up my family. Like then Cobra Kai went in the tournament. Like, no, it didn't. Y'all broke up y'all family. Y'all issues with y'all random like vigilante stuff, like Daniel going all crazy with his issues in the past. That Cobra Kai win the tournament did not break up y'all family. Y'all issues broke up y'all family. Like, let's not blame this on that. Like
preach,
but she gets that from her father though, right? That's something maybe the writers did a great job with because there are times when like that's Daniel's like whole personality is deflecting blame on everyone. Nothing's his fault, you know. And Sam is displaying those same tendencies where Sam is like, oh, this and that, and it's like, but is it though? Is it really like so? Like that was good writing, maybe because Sam is acting just like her daddy.
That's true.
So basically, what y'all saying is Johnny has the most growth out of between him and Daniel.
Yeah.
He's more mature. Even though he has a potty mouth, and I love it. Like he's more mature. Like even with like, remember when Danny came and was like, "Yeah, we gotta go," and blah blah blah. He's like, "Nah, I got stuff to take care of." Like even then, he showed more maturity. Like, nah, I can't rock with you. Johnny only got in the fight once Daniel got beat up and got put in the hospital. Like before that, Johnny was trying to take care of his business, like trying to live his best life again. I got a baby on the way. He's doing a funny ride sharing stuff where I'm like, he's and I'm driving. And I was like, and there was some, like Johnny was trying to take care of business. Like Johnny been more mature than him. Like at the end of the day, Johnny is always trying to survive. Daniel is surviving and he's trying to find excitement for his life. He's trying to force drama because there's none there unless he forces it because he has a good life.
Right. That man broke in. I'm sorry, he didn't break in. He snuck in to the back of a furniture warehouse with employees only. Snatched their phone from the manager, cussed him out, all because the conversation sounded shady. Like, what are we doing right now?
And again, and maybe that leads into why I didn't feel bad about his son because like it's like at least his son is learning early to let people let it go because the tables will turn. Like Anthony ain't gonna follow in his dad's footsteps. Sam might, but Anthony, he learned his lesson this season.
Early, right?
Tell the people how y'all really feel.
This is what it is.
But she right. Dorris right though. Anthony, I don't think he's gonna be like them. He's definitely learning early. Like That's
Mhm.
what happens. Yeah, you can't be that way.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. But overall, I like the season.
Yeah, it was, and it was a really good season. I
It
really
was.
just, the only thing I don't like is the end. Like, they built this chick up, like she trained all these super legit people, and I did
Yeah.
not, and I saw her fighting little girls. Like, besides that, everything else I loved. But there was something else that was missing.
Go
I
ahead.
thought that they took 2 episodes to introduce Miguel's dad. I really thought he was gonna pop back up. I don't know
I did too.
where, but I really
Yeah.
thought after that second episode when they left Mexico
Mhm.
that he was gonna pop back up somewhere and cause some sort of drama. So maybe next season when Carmen's pregnant, maybe he'll pop up. But like, I really thought like he wasn't done.
Mm.
Yeah.
He might not be done. Like that's the good thing about this show is like when we think stuff is done, it can pop back up. You never know.
Yeah.
True.
Is there anything else anyone of y'all want to add before we close out?
No, I think I'm good. Got it all.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, and I like the whole protect the egg. Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, that was
everything.
dope.
I
Yeah.
liked everything. Like, I liked everything.
Yeah, I like how when they teach, like they always kind of rear back to that in some practical form later. Like I feel like they was doing a lot of that, and I was like, that's gotta show back up again when it matters,
Right.
and then it
Mhm.
did.
And I liked how when they did the little fist thing or whatever, like I thought it was done when Kenny did it, but then they brought it back up
Oh, yeah.
when Daniel was fighting Silver, but then
Yeah.
Daniel blocked that, and I was like, okay, so like that was not, yeah, they do
Yeah.
bring stuff back. It's nice, yeah. It was a good season. It was a good season.
I will say this before we close out. Kenny was so kind of scared of Miguel though. He was so kind of like when Miguel stepped in front of him because he was trying to buck up the Robbie, I think. Miguel just stood in front of him. He said, "It's not gonna." It said, "Chill, man, relax." And then I was like, "Oh shit!" I don't think he won't let him Miguel.
Nah, I don't care what you say. Like, I think Kenny respects Robbie, but Kenny, when he gets mad, anybody can have this action. Like that's
Yeah.
like that's how like.
Well, yeah, he has like the ounce of goodness that he does have is for Robbie because Robbie took him in and
Yeah,
stuff
like
like
I
that.
feel like if he needed to, he would have fought Miguel. He would have fought Chosen. He would have lost. But like
he would
I
have
feel
lost.
like
Yeah, well,
Kenny, like he got heart. Like
yeah,
yeah.
You're right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Another jam-packed episode we had today. Click like and subscribe to the channel. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.
All right, y'all have a good one.
You too.